Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining me today. If you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. If you like what you see, please go down and hit that subscribe button and come back and check out some more of my content. But let's just get right into it. Today we're going to talk about weight loss and weight maintenance. And I'm gonna do a little something to preface this, because every time you talk about weight loss anywhere on social media, you have usual voices that pop in saying the same things. I'm here to talk to people that are pretty much basically healthy people that just need to lose some weight, no matter how much weight it is. Now, there's always going to be people that say, well, I can't lose weight. I have a medical reason, or I have the hormones, or I have this, or I have that. All very valid. But if that's really the truth, and if you really do deal with that kind of an issue, you shouldn't be on YouTube looking for weight loss advice. You should be seeing your doctor. And I would imagine your general practitioner would refer you to an endocrinologist who deals with problems with hormones and endocrine glands. So that's for people with diabetes, thyroid conditions, and metabolic disorders. Also, too, the word hormones. A lot of things women tend to talk about as they get older is menopause, and how the hormones and different things like that prevent them from losing weight. Once again, if looking at me you haven't figured this out, I am not a doctor. If that's your issue, once again, you shouldn't be on YouTube looking for answers. You should be talking and working with your doctor. Now, you can work in accordance and you can figure out a healthier eating plan for yourself, but those type things, those you're probably going to need some medical help with on. But just for the regular folks, it's pretty much, I'm just going to talk the basics, what I'm always talking about. When I first went plant-based, I wouldn't really say I had so much of a weight problem, but I was always that guy that, like I would get down to what I liked as my ideal weight. And then from time to time, I'd get about 20 pounds over that. And then I would lose it. So I was kind of that guy that was, I wouldn't call myself a yo-yo dieter, but just, like that stubborn 20 pounds would always go back and forth. But when I decided to start getting healthy, I got off the booze and off all that kind of stuff. I just said, you know what? I'm not going to focus on losing this weight. I'm going to focus on getting healthy. I'm going to start studying things. I'm going to start figuring out what I need to eat to make my body healthy, because I knew in my head it wasn't enough just to somehow get rid of weight, but also too I wanted something that was sustainable and to repair a lot of the damage that I had done to my body in times past. So all I did was just start eating healthier. As I started eating healthier, and as I started, looking around online, doing research online, I came across the plant-based diet. And when we say a plant-based diet, I like to distinguish a whole food plant-based diet, because I really kind of doubled down on that from day one. And listen, by no means I want to say like I've done this thing perfect. I've gone back and forth with different things. I've learned a lot along the way. But I pretty much jumped straight into eating whole foods. Even when I was new to this lifestyle, I didn't eat a lot of processed food. So that's where you start right there, is just with the basics. Whole plant-based foods, legumes, fruits, greens, nuts, seeds. Yes, nuts and seeds even when you're trying to lose weight, because we need healthy fats in our diet. You're just not loading up on those things, and you're being very specific in the amounts that you eat for those. That's why I always say, no matter how much you're eating, when you're eating nuts, know how much you're eating. Either, you can use by the palm of your hand, or if you've got a little scale like we do in the kitchen, you can see how much, but you have to be purposeful with that. That's why I'm always talking about the salt, oil, sugar-free, extra added sugar, processed sugar being in there too. I'm not like 100% anti-oil, like it's like the devil, and like if you have some from time to time, it's going to kill you. When I make a pot of rice, I'll put 2 teaspoons in there. But the reason I like to kind of steer away people, and I think a lot of people do, is because it's so easy. Not very many people use like are measuring. They're not paying attention when they're using olive oil. I hear all the time, well, olive oil is healthy. Well, it's not healthy when you're just pouring and dousing stuff with it. So if you're using oils, measure them. Use a tablespoon, use a teaspoon, and know how much that you're getting in there. But generally, it's just eating for a healthy body. If there were two pieces of it, just general advice I could give on this plant-based, well, just basically one piece of advice I could give on this plant-based diet in general, but specifically to losing weight and maintaining weight loss, is focusing on learning about your gut microbiome. I've come in the last few years to believe that a healthy gut microbiome, just leads to is basically a way to measure like actually how healthy our bodies are in general. And they're not the only one. I mean, but when you're getting in, and what can we do to help make our microbiome more healthy? Variety, lots of plant-based foods, the fermented foods. I highly recommend, and I've recommended one of them many times, I recommend that you look into Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, who wrote Fiber Fueled. You don't necessarily even have to buy the book, although I would highly recommend it. There's so many talks. If you go right now here on YouTube and just search Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, you will find countless interviews that he's done here and there, specifically on the Exam Room podcast. But another one too that's a good one is Dr. Robin Chutkan. I might be mispronouncing her name, but she's also Dr. Bulsiewicz, he's a gastroenterologist, as well as Dr. Chutkan. And they both just talk about getting our gut microbiome healthier and healthier, because when we have a healthy gut microbiome, we have an efficient, more usually, unless you've got some weird medical condition, overall healthy system to our body. And when we're eating whole plant-based foods, when we're watching how much fat we're putting in, you can eat the calories in plant-based food is so much less than in the standard American diet. So if you're eating clean, you can eat so much food. Like for lunch today, I had a baked potato topped with steamed purple cabbage and some of that black eyed pea salad. I didn't even actually have any fat for lunch, not because I was trying not to have fat, but because I just didn't need any in there. That was what I was eating. Those toppings were sufficient. But when you're eating whole foods like that, you're not loading up on a ton of calories. There's things you can eat processed where you're basically eating some little small bowl for the same amount of calories that I got in there. So like I say, I'm not going to drag this video out. It's just about there's no tricks, there's no formulas. It's just about eating simple whole plant-based foods, a wide variety of it, and just kind of cutting those things that are a little bit more caloric, that have more calories to them. Now, how do you find out how much you need to eat? Well, you can go online and you can kind of probably Google and approximate the calories based on your age, your size, and your activity level. But, if you're struggling with it, or if you really want to kind of dial in on it quick, write down everything you eat. Write it down for a week, see how your weight's going, and adjust as you go. And if it's not going, let's say you're not losing weight at the rate that you want to, don't do drastic things. Don't be like all of a sudden like you just greatly restrict the food that you're eating or restrict the calories. Just cut back a couple or 100 or 300 calories. Just cut back a little bit until you find that sweet spot. Or you can go totally, like, I've never used Chronometer, but a lot of people find that healthy, but you've got to write that stuff down, because a lot of times you will not remember, exactly all those different things, exactly how much of it you had. So just dial it in. Keep yourself a little food journal for a month or two. And like I said, I was kind of fat when I was a kid. Not fat by today's standards. I kind of leaned out a little bit by about the 7th grade, but I was not that naturally lean, thin person. I could gain weight easily with the things I was eating. So anyhow, just going to keep it simple and finish up here today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and have a beautiful rest of the week. Peace.